Coming to you live from their studio in South Florida, Twist Gaming. Featuring lead broadcaster, Matt Koza. Co-host and creative genius, Josh Perry. Co-host and interviewer extraordinaire, Ann Lazito. Co-host and marketing mogul, Aaron Murphy. With appearances from special guest, Lucy. Welcome to Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us.
Welcome everyone, this is Twist Gaming, and I'm Matt, and I am joined here with my co-hosts.
I'm Ann.
I'm Josh.
And we are joined with our special guest today, Julie and Dirk from Greenbrier Games, to show off a new game on our Spotlight stream. Good evening, y'all.
That was Walter.
And good evening. I'm going to cherish forever that you introduced me as being from Greenbrier Games.
Well,
So,
We're going to take it. This is
sorry,
all,
Julie, you're stuck for the
everything
next
in that
hour.
so this is going to be a fun stream already, I can tell. So for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, this is our Spotlight stream where we show off games that are just coming out into the industry. And today we are showing off Mr. Rhee from Greenbrier Games. Super excited for this. So I'm going to take the opportunity now to throw it over to Ann. Catch. There you go. You did a good job. So, interview time, man. Go for it.
All right, so we are super excited to play this game tonight, and Dirk, we are very grateful that you were able to take the time to come on the show and hang out with us as we play the game. So this game is something a little different than other games that we've played before, in that it is based off of a comic book
Yes,
made by some person.
Who made
two
it?
comic books. Amazing art, so-so writer.
So Dirk, you've written both Nightmare World and The Adventures of Mystery.
Tales of Mystery.
Tales of
yes,
Mystery.
Tales of Mystery.
Almost got it. And that is what this game is based off of. Talk to me a little bit about where the decision came to take your books and turn them into a game.
I could see Julie wincing already about this. It's funny, and Julie, you can correct my alternate history here, however you see fit.
Please, revise all you can. I want to hear this.
Gosh, Julie, do you remember when you and I first met in person, Julie?
Fantastic on Toledo.
Yeah, so we first met Fantastic on Toledo, and Julie had checked out some of my work and things like that. And then we were at another show together, and she said, I read Nightmare World, read Tales of Mystery, really liked it, and I wanted to know if you'd be interested in, maybe talking about making a game based on these two series. And my answer was...
Maybe.
No.
no.
Thinking yes.
It was a hard no.
Oh.
And, I know. And Julie was
It
kind of
wasn't a hard no. You might like to think it was a...
Julie still saw the opportunity in the no.
Well, I was, honestly, I'm the type of person that says no to things much more often than I say yes. And I was like, no, and she was like, why not? And I said, well, because with Nightmare World and Tales of Mystery, I said, one, I'm very particular about the properties. There's a lot of people involved in both series and things like that. And I said, and also, because they're horror series, I don't want there to be a thing where, like, I'm going to be Mr. Rhee and I'm going to go, conquer the Nightmare World. It's like that wasn't at all what I was interested in. And Julie, to her credit, is a master negotiator, as all of you know, and very persuasive. She says, well, can I just tell you what the first rule of the game would be? And I'm like, well, sure, because Julie and I were friends at this point. She hadn't been sleeping in my murder basement yet. But, and I said, yeah, what would it be? And she goes, well, the first rule is the good guys can't win. We really appreciate it. And I said, tell me more. and from there, she talked to me about what the game. It was very evident that she was very invested in protecting the integrity of both Nightmare World and Tales of Mystery as a property, as the essence and the tone of the series. And we started talking, and now here we are on the verge of what will surely be another amazing Kickstarter launch from Greenbrier Games, of which I will hopefully not break the streak.
No, I mean the theme of the game in general really works well with the games that Greenbrier has put out. Like it fits with their series, so I'm really excited to kind of delve into this. And we are very fortunate to know Julie as friends, and she's often on this show. She helps us out a lot, and we know her very well. We know her the business side of her, and we understand how much she appreciates somebody's creative effort and the product that comes along with that, and maintaining that, and showing it in the right light. So that's super exciting. Talk to me a little bit about the comic series for those in the audience who may be unfamiliar with it.
Sure. The con pitch is Nightmare World.
Oh, look at
A
that.
horror this is the Bible, the omnibus. Nightmare World's a horror anthology series. There's 52 stories in the whole series. Each story is written by me and then drawn by a different artist or art team. And it's kind of like a Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt style vibe, with every story being standalone, and every story is a completely different genre of horror. But as you keep going, as you keep reading the whole series, whether it be through the 4 trade paperbacks or the big, giant, amazing omnibuy, is that all the standalone stories over the course of the series start to weave into one giant story, and tells this big comprehensive story.
That's actually why I liked the series to begin with, because the very do I have to compliment him in front of him?
Yeah.
My precious.
The incredibly smart thing that Dirk did in the series is weave little snippets of through line from one story to the next, so that even though you can read the whole thing once and be very entertained, but you can go back and revisit again and again and realize how a character from one story from 5, 10, 15 years ago is involved and thought through to the very end of how they fit into a different story completely. And for somebody who also does a lot of writing, to me, that was the pull. I could see how much thought went into each story as a standalone, but how the web of each of the stories fits together, so that you can, it's not just a saying, it's all in the same world. Right. You can tell it's all in the same world. And every time you can find different clues.
Julie, tell me what one of your favorite storylines is from the book.
Hashtag no spoilers.
Yeah, well, that's the hard part. Because all right, the one that in the first series, so there's 4 books that have 13 stories each.
Right.
So in the first one, so I have those as well as also the omnibus. I was reading that first series of 13, and when I first got hooked, it was the 80s slasher, teen boy and girl running through the woods.
Knee deep in the dead.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they're saying out loud, we really shouldn't go towards that creepy cabin, but let's go anyway. We really the whole thing is very tongue-in-cheek about making fun of the fact that they know that they're going to die because they've watched all of the slasher movies and they know they're doomed, but they still keep making this and arguing about it the whole time. And I just, I couldn't stop laughing, because as a writer, that it was so great. It was funny and yet dark, and yet the end is unexpected.
That's really cool. I can't wait to really delve into the stories. I mean, I know you've talked about them for a while being really good, and I'm excited to get my teeth into them. One other point I wanted to touch on before we dive into the game, Dirk, was that you not only write these stories, but you also have another book to help other comic book writers. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, along with Nightmare World, and I also just have to mention this real quick, and I'm going to get to that. So, to use kind of a fantasy analogy, Nightmare World is The Hobbit. Tales of Mystery is Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I'll
I can
leave it at that.
understand that. That I get.
Yeah. This is the I get that one. Yeah, I also wrote a book called Right or Wrong: Writer's Guide to Creating Comics, which is a book I put together to help aspiring comic book creators, especially writers, people who know they can write but don't know how to go about, like, how do you meet artists, how do you build your team, how do you
Hmm.
publish, to really go from. And Right or Wrong is not a book to teach you how to write. I've read all those books, those are out there. But Right or Wrong is really a book intended for people that know they can write and just want to know how to get to the point where they can start making comics.
Right.
Um, and The book's available on Amazon, but it's really a passion project of mine. Right or Wrong started as a free column I did for free for, God, over 5 years, and collected the columns into a book edition just to help other people who want to make comic books. I always vowed, if I got to the point that I was making comics, that I would do everything I could to help other people be able to have that same experience. And that's what Right or Wrong, A Writer's Guide to Creating Comics is. And I I started Nightmare World. It was actually my first comic book series. And if you see that spinner rack behind me, that's a spinner rack almost
Wow.
completely filled with my own comics at this point.
That's awesome.
That is
Yeah,
really
that's my goal.
cool.
My goal, and this is like an old timey spinner rack too. So my goal is actually to
Fill it up.
fill the spinner rack with all my own work, and I'm getting dangerously close, which is pretty awesome.
That
Pretty
is
morbid.
really awesome. No, I think that that's fantastic. I think that that book is super fantastic because even being in the board game industry, sometimes somebody who is incredibly creatively talented has a rough time translating that into the business side of it or getting out and getting published or networking and things like that. Things that, somebody who's passionate about the creative work that they do doesn't really consider. So I think that that's an awesome thing that you've put out there for your community to kind of pick up all the other stuff that maybe you're not thinking about on the journey to getting to be published.
Thank you. Yeah, and Right or Wrong Volume One, again, it's Right or Wrong, like WRITE. It's called The Writer's Guide to Creating Comics. The open secret that I finally kind of let loose publicly was February 2020 is going to be Right or Wrong Volume 2, which
Ooh.
is going to be about now that you have the book, like a Tales of Mystery, for example. Now that you have the book, what do you do? And I'm really looking forward to writing that because I take a lot of joy in being able to help pay it forward. I think in anything you do, if you can pay it forward and help other people meet their dreams, that's pretty awesome. Also,
I
not very scary of me. I apologize. I should be scarier, but that's how I am. I guess that's what
No,
balances
you
out.
actually are. You're at going to conventions and being at the same convention. I have learned um, the value of being appreciative and patient with your fans from Dirk, who has an amazing fan base, but he is willing to talk to everybody who comes to the table. He wants to hear their story. He wants to know what their interests are. He wants to make sure that they feel like they are appreciated. And there's a lot of people who want to be writers, who want to make their own comics, and you will take the time to talk to every single one of them, which is really impressive.
I was there, man. I remember going to shows and being on the other side of the table and just knowing, again, like to this, I want to get to the game, but like this drawer right here, right next to my desk, I have notes that I keep right here from from like little like note cards when I was going to panels at shows talking to people about how to get started. And I always said if I got to the point that I could make comics, that I would do everything I could to help other people. And now I have, you know, more than half a spinner rack full of comics. We're about to see an amazing game based on two of my favorite properties that I've written from an amazing game company by amazing people. I'm talking to you, so I would be. It's one thing to be a horror guy, but I'd be pretty much a scumbag if I didn't do what I could to help other people have this opportunity. So
Whole different
scary,
level there.
yes. Scumbag, no.
So we
Well,
talked a
not
little
in,
bit.
Not in that sense, at least.
We talked a little bit about your book being available on Amazon. Where can our audience get their hand on your comics? Get their hands on your
The
comics?
Nightmare World Omnibus is now available on Amazon or available wherever local comic books are sold. So I always try to tell people, support your local comic shops first if you can. Tales of Mystery Volumes 1, 2, and 3 are also available on Amazon, as well as order through local comic book shops. Volume 4 will be coming out before the end of the year. We just had the Kickstarter on that. Or come see me on the convention circuit. Go to dirkmanning.com. You can sign up for my monthly newsletter on there. My whole convention circuit is listed. I do about 20 to 30 conventions a year. So come by for me to show.
I got winded just the thought of that. We do like 5, maybe.
I think to see
what's that?
We're in a contest to see who can go to the most conventions.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a contest with me because
I don't, but I was this year. It's terrible.
Yeah, I one time did a bet with a friend of mine of who could do more shows. I did 24 shows and signings in 18 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
For $1.
That was the bet win?
The bet was $1.
On that note, Matthew,
you want to
I
jump
need a
into
moment.
the meat and potatoes things here?
I need a moment. 24 shows in 18
I'll give you the vapors. I apologize.
A little bit. It's giving me a little bit of
The
anxiety.
vapors. Oh, Lord. All right, so
Just wait till we start the game.
There we go. So let's jump into the gameplay. We're going to transfer over to the board cam here, and Julie or Dirk, if you will, can you give us a walkthrough of how to play?
Yeah. All right. So you have RAC set up at least some of the board so far. So in gameplay, you're going to need at least 3 players, 1 person to play the heroes, and then multiples to play the villains. So setting up, you will have the number of locations that is equal to the number of players, which is the number of villains plus 1, because there is 1 person playing the hero. For the villains, you will need to select which villain character you are playing. You will have their villain card on the starting side with their standee, and you will, So
Brian Carter.
Who's playing? Are we showing all of them? So we've got Brian.
We can.
Yep, I'm playing as Brian. So Anne's playing as Vanessa.
Oh, yes.
Because Matt said that was the character that most looked like me.
Not that side.
Well, Brian and Vanessa also have a very...
Don't say that, because I'll change my character so fast.
Okay, stop.
Yeah. Well, no, not that kind of... They're not... It's definitely not a romantic relationship.
Okay.
But they're connected in the series. They're connected in Nightmare World.
Correct. So each of
their
the
fates
villains...
intertwine.
Sure. Each of the villains are not the highest level of evil of the epic, Lucifer, Cthulhu variety, but they are the one step down right hand people of those super evil powers, if you can think about it that way. And they are going to be using minions, so the people below them, to do their dirty work for the most part. So that's kind of where they are on the scale, the power scale. And yes, Vanessa and Brian are related in they're co-workers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, their fates intertwine.
Dirk's going to be more poetic. I'm going to be more pragmatic. So those 2 characters do have a storyline that coincides.
Very much so.
So interested. I
and
have to read this now.
Side, and then you will both have 3 minion cards that you draw to start.
So for the folks at home that have not seen a Spotlight show already, I think it's important to point out, as we delve into this, that each one of the hosts has a different level of familiarity with the game. We do this intentionally because since this video is shot live, we want to make sure that you guys at home are seeing our live, raw, unedited kind of reactions to the game. So Josh has kind of been through the rules, played the game, has a much more in-depth familiarity with the game. Matt's got a little bit,
We've got a little bit of secondhand knowledge between what Josh has briefly told me and what Julie's briefly told me at the conventions.
I come to the table without knowing anything. And that is so that if you guys at home are going to back this Kickstarter, you guys obviously have not seen the game. So hopefully you'll be able to relate with my reactions to picking up this game for the first time. So if I look like lost or whatever, other than that's my normal state, that's it was intentional. So okay, so can we see these minions? With that being said,
Yes. So let's take one of them so that you can kind of get a walkthrough how you're going to use them.
Hey, look, Anne, that's you too.
Yeah.
Right. So each of the minions, if you look at the numbers, at the top, their number it's arbitrary. It's just so that you can keep track of which ones when you're looking to sort your cards.
And that isn't vampire, by the way.
Correct. So your fight is the number of what they're going to do, which is going to go against, so physical attack against the innocents, which are at the locations. We'll get to those in a minute. Their resist, however, is a resistance to either charm or magic, which is something the heroes will use to target them. So fight is more of a group effort versus resist, which is when they are singled out for an attack an attack on themselves. On the bottom, you have two numbers, face down and face up. There are two different costs to play them. So face down means you're going to be playing them and then revealing them and playing them all together as one unit, so that they all, if you have more than one card, they stack. Face up, you're going to play it. It's a higher cost because you're going to play that cost to single out an innocent. So it's almost like the reverse of the fight versus resist against them themselves. So you might pay 7 greed to play them face up so that they can single out a specific innocent or hero with that 3 fight and remove them from the game instead of going against the entire force at a location. So that's why it costs more to play it that way. And then finally, there is a text box in the middle. Each of the minions has their own special ability. These come into play sometimes if there are other minions, if there are heroes, whether or not they're played face up or down. It just depends on the minion itself. Now the numbers for each of these, the cost of them is in greed, which should be the next card that we look at.
Okay.
We can also note that the version of the game that we are looking at is a prototype version and not a final version. So
Correct.
when you're looking at the components and as we're getting close-ups to this card, this does not mean that this is what the game will look like in its final and refined version.
Correct. I would say 90% of the art is complete. We still have a bit of graphic design and icon work to do. And of course, going through and making sure that any typos you see, feel free to write them down. I'll take note. Don't worry. Thanks.
Thanks.
And then making sure that Dirk Manning is, of course, delighted with the final result.
Of course. Naturally.
Delighted.
So greed is what you as a villain will be spending. So when those numbers, when the cost is in greed, a villain will flip those greed to the other side, which then gives the heroes hope to spend on the opposite side on their turn.
Okay, so it's like a currency trade-off then. So if you spend a lot of your greed, you're in turn providing the opposing player, the heroes, with a bunch of hope to counter your actions.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's kind of my day job to crush Josh's hope. I don't know how I feel about giving him hope in a game.
Yeah.
The other thing that it says 3 greed on there. What's on the other side? How much hope?
3 hope.
So sometimes it is an equal exchange and sometimes it's asymmetrical, so you have to be careful about that. The
Ooh.
greedier you are, the more hope you might be giving. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
So, the other thing I'd like to point out, the villains start on their starting side. However, their abilities don't come into play until they actually take over a location. So they send out their minions to secure a location before they can actually enact any of their abilities. Each one has a unique ability, and each of their sides, their starting and their transformed side, have 2 different abilities as well. There is a cost of greed to change it from the starting side to the hope side, or to the transformed side.
Okay.
So that would be the villain startup. If we take a quick look at the heroes startup, the hero actually has, will select the equal number of heroes to the number of villains that are playing. So it's team hero. So you have more than one. However, their hand limit is going to be, because it's a team effort, they get 1 hand to play. So they have to divvy up their resources between all the locations. On the hero, they also will start on their starting side, and they also have 2 different abilities. However, theirs can come into play from the start if you can and choose to use them each turn. Up at the top, as you can see, my lovely, not completed icons of their abilities are magic, fight, and charm. So when you have a hero, you have to also factor in what they are able to do and in what order. So Mr. Rhee, the title character of one of the comic book series, he's a wizard. So he's going to use magic first. So that means if you have cards of magic, that ability, then you are going to have to use them completely or discard them if you want to move on to fight, if you are unable to use magic to succeed in combating a villain or a minion at a specific location. Then he would move on to fight, and then he would move on to charm, because in the comic, that is his personality. He's going to try to fight things with magic. He'll throw a punch if he has to. It doesn't usually work very well, and he is not charming. He's like a grumpy old man.
He is.
He is taciturn.
Curmudgeon, if you will.
Curmudgeon.
A very young curmudgeon.
He's a
A
reluctant,
very young curmudgeon.
hero. So he does it because he can't not be, but not because he wants to be in the spotlight at all. He would rather just be left alone. Unfortunately, fate has dealt him the raw end of the deal, and he is just going to have to deal with trying to be a hero the best he can.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
This is so perfect.
That is Mr. Rhee, and that's how he resolves any abilities he has. And then of course he has abilities. His are, at all costs, even to his own detriment, he will try to save an innocent life. So he can discard all of the hand to save one innocent, which sometimes is not very smart. But those are the abilities that it is something that he, in the comic, he'll sacrifice everything to try to save an innocent, even if it doesn't work out, which often it doesn't.
And in the game, that's something that can work very well to thwart the villains, although again, in Mr. Rhee's case, it is of great personal detriment to him to do that.
All right, so that's Mr. Rhee, and who's your other hero?
Ganon?
So Ganon's the opposite. Ganon's a Boy Scout. He looks the part, he acts the part, he looks both ways before crossing the street. He says please and thank you.
He doesn't drink.
You're right. He tucks in his shirt.
No, okay. No, we were good, and then we weren't.
Yeah,
Mr. Rhee hates his guts.
Yeah, they are not friends. They are allies, sort of. And
Ganon likes Mr. Rhee. Mr. Rhee just doesn't like Ganon.
I think it's a passive-aggressive thing. I think you're lying.
Here, I was going to show you Volume 4 when this night was over, but maybe now you'll have to wait with everyone else.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, as you can see, Ganon also does not have any magic ability. So he's a fighter.
A good one.
He is. He's an excellent fighter, as the cape shows you. And then he's going to use his charm. And his charm is more of that, like, Dudley Do-Right charm. Like, I will save you! Kind of charm. But he's going to try to use
Come
it
with
anyway.
me if you want to live.
All right, yeah, that. So he wouldn't use magic at all. So as you can see, how you would use your cards at which location is going to be factored in to which hero you have at each location. So those are our 2 heroes that we have to combat the 2 villains. Now, they do not start with any of their cards, but they will be able to collect them once they get Hope. So once they have Hope, they will be able to buy those 3 abilities that we just listed: Magic, Fight, and Charm. The cost of the cards is always whatever is in your hand. So if the hero player has nothing in their hand, that first card is free. The next one's going to be 1. The one after that's going to cost 2. The one after that's going to cost 3. So as you get more abilities, it costs you more hope to do more. Hope comes at a premium because there's not a lot in
the nightmare world. There's not a lot of hope to be had as monsters start invading everywhere and things like that.
Correct. So you have to be you have to think strategically about which characters you have paired together, what their abilities are, and if you want to diversify all 3 abilities, or if you want to specifically only use 2 or even just 1 per round. And also whether you want to burn cards, because as you burn cards, it also costs you less to play them.
Shout out to Ice Cream in the chat room. I see
Is that Jenny?
See you.
you. Yes.
Cream puff ice cream kind of sounds
Jennifer,
delicious.
is Jennifer having Jenny's?
Yes, she is.
Jenny is having Jenny's.
Jenny's having Jenny.
Much love, girlfriend.
All right. So there we are. So you really only start by putting your 2 heroes at 2 of the locations, of which there should be 3 out on the board.
Oh, and
Right.
should we touch on very quickly what the objective is of the game for the heroes or the villains?
Hold on. Not there yet.
I'm excited.
Okay. And then finally, you're going to put 3 of the innocents at each location face down. So an innocent can either be a child, an adult, or an officer of some kind. Their fight resistance is 1, 2, 3 in that order. So if you are a child, your fight is 1 because you are tiny and weak. And if you are an officer, your fight is 3 because hopefully you have a firearm or something of that effect, or training of some kind.
A samurai sword, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Or if you're a homeless man,
Your fight is 2.
your fight is 2.
But you just have
He's very mean. Scrappy.
Yeah. Those 2 teeth. He gnaws like something fierce.
Just savage.
So when we start, you're going to have them face down. So think of them as they're at that location, but nobody has gotten to that location yet. None of the minions have gotten there, so you can't see who's in there. So you're not sure what you're going up against. You're going in kind of blind.
Okay. So we have 3 locations out on the board right now, so I'll zoom in a little bit to show them off. We've got the cemetery.
The what?
Cemetery.
That's not what I heard either. Ann.
That's not what I heard.
Hey, thank you very much.
We have Vanessa's Lighthouse on the Coast, and then we've got the Miskatonic Hospital.
You can check in anytime you want, but you can never leave.
Isn't that Hotel California?
No, it's the Miskatonic Hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Welcome to
So
the
close.
Miskatonic Hospital.
No, you don't get to sing.
It's a lonely place.
Stop.
They will eat your face.
We want people to watch this.
Living it up at the Miskatonic Hospital. Okay.
It's now a thing. It's now a thing.
Demons everywhere.
Everywhere.
There's tons of scares.
Well, anyway, here we are. Shut up.
I'm going to do you a favor, Julie. Hold on. I'm going to eat some popcorn and just watch the show for a minute.
Look at that's so good. Now you want popcorn, don't you?
I kind of do.
Here you go, man. Here you go.
Oh, it's delicious.
I'm here for you.
It was odd hearing Matt do a Josh.
So, Julie, we've got We got the innocents at the locations. What else do we need to go over?
Let's see. I believe that's it. I believe we did. Oh no, I'm sorry. The objective. So if you're a hero, you're trying to make it all 6 rounds. So you have 3 days, the days of darkness. So it's day, night, day, night, day, night. And for each of those, there is a slight advantage during the day for the heroes, slight advantage for the villains at nighttime. So, and if you can manage to make it and keep as many people alive and none of the villains from actually winning, that's the only way you can win as a hero.
We apologize. Someone's shooting off fireworks in the neighborhood here for some reason.
Happy Rosh Hashanah, everybody!
Woo!
Happy New Year!
I think it's in celebration of the fact that there's a special guest in the chat.
Obviously.
Yeah. That's definitely it.
Kristen Perry, the artist of the covers of all 4 Nightmare World books and the Nightmare World Omnibus, and the amazing box art on the game, is in the chat right now. Hi, Kristen!
Woo! Welcome!
I'll go back to my popcorn now, sorry.
All right, so objectives. One more time, Julie. Sorry.
Great. So as the hero, you're trying to make it all 6 rounds.
Mhm.
As the villain, you have a win condition depending on the villain that you are playing. So if you take a look at your villain, each one will have a unique win condition, or you're trying to take over 2 locations.
So, for example, with Brian here, at the end of a round, if Brian controls minions with a total fight of 20 or more, Brian wins the game.
Yep.
Or, for example, with Vanessa, who Anne is playing as. Anne, you want to read that?
At the end of a round, if Vanessa controls 3 innocents at the same location as a hero, Vanessa wins the game. Innocents' resistance is the same as their fight.
Okay.
Also, I want to thank you very much for the artwork of me. I really think it brings out my face.
Why the long face?
What?
It's tentacles.
So we've discussed the objective. We've gone over the hero and the villain abilities. Do we delve into turn and play order?
Yes, let's do that. Okay. So we're going to go villain, hero, villain, hero. The hero player gets to choose which villain starts. That villain, during the time that we resolve all the cards at the locations, will get to choose which order they resolve.
Okay. So, Josh, which villain is going first? Vanessa or Brian?
We'll let Vanessa go first. Put
Okay.
Anne on the spotlight.
Ladies first.
It's where I live, in the spotlight. So what do I do first?
So you're going to, you have, let's see, how much greed do you have there?
That's the sum of the numbers in the back. Oh,
These cards here.
these cards here.
Yes.
So if the option, I'm guessing this is the deck, which is ineligible, or unless you can
Yeah.
top deck.
Nope.
Okay, 1, 2, 1, and 3.
So that's cumulative. So you have a total of
7.
Well, that was fast.
So there you go.
Almost
Math.
like I'm gonna
She
count
does
it or something.
Like she does it. So you have up to 7 that you can spend. You don't have to spend all of that, but you have up to. So what the things that you can do are, you can, for each card is going to cost you 1 greed. So you can collect up to 7 minion if that's what you want to do. Or you can play your minions face down for the cost, whatever that cost is, or you can pay them for face up, depending on what you want to. Now, strategy-wise, at the beginning of the game, singling out an innocent is impossible since you don't know who's there. I wouldn't play anything face up, personally, unless you want to push a hero off of a location. Again, I don't know why that would help you at this point in the game, but you might want to. So playing face down and gathering minions are your choices. The only other thing that you can do is once you have minions out at locations, you can spend 1 greed to move them to a different location. So if you had 4 minions at a location and you had already taken it over and wiped it out of all other life, every man, woman, and child, then you could then spend 4 to move them to a different location. For example, are we looking at locations? What's going on there?
Yeah, well, that one location, it was more for Matt's sake, because if you read the location text...
The location text there is, Brian's minions may move to and from this location for free. Oh, okay.
I thought it was for Anne's character, but
yes,
each location does have an ability.
There are 2 sides to each location. If you want to play a starting game without that rule set, you can play them on the opposite side. If you want to play it with an advanced play, you play it with the actual rule set of the location.
Okay.
Okay, so if my win condition is to control a location that's the same as one of the heroes, does it make sense to start placing minions in the same location, or should I start stacking up minions?
That would be up to you, Miss Anne.
No, Julie, that's what I have you on here for, is to help me win.
No. We're all evil here.
No.
Okay, So if I'm gonna grab a new minion, this is the minion deck, correct?
It is.
Am I taking a minion? Any minion costs 1 greed to acquire.
One
Okay.
greed per card.
And this pool, as I start using these greed cards, these are the ones that'll flip over, and then Josh will get hope to use.
Correct.
And
you don't get to see what's on the other side too. You can't peek to see if it's like a one-off or an asymmetrical number.
if it scales. And then as I use these cards, will they automatically refill?
No, they will refill at the end of your turn.
Okay. All right. So then I have...
It's the end of Josh's turn this round.
Okay. So, and to play my cards face down, I can put them at a location. I have 7. Maybe I want to play... Maybe I want to split things up. Maybe I want to play this minion face down for 3 greed.
And where are you playing that one?
Why did you throw it so aggressively? I'm going to put it here at Vanessa's lighthouse on the coast.
Okay, before you put it there,
Yes.
can you actually show it up close again for a second, Matt?
Which, the front side of the minion card? Or the
side? You don't want, nobody should be able to see it face up. She played it face down, so only Anne should know what that is.
Okay.
Okay.
So as you can see, it shows you the face down number so that you know that she's spending the amount that she said, but also the yellow, but not really because it's on the green screen, blue arrow for them so that you can have that arrow pointing towards the player so that you can keep track of which player played which minion.
Oh, that's nifty.
That is nifty.
I thought that was an excellent design choice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Especially because, I mean, honestly, I'm not someone that plays a lot of games, so something like that definitely made it a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
And for only 2 villains, sure, it's easier to keep track. Once you get to up to a 5-6 player game, that's a lot more challenging. So you want to be able to keep track of who's played what. So you have that arrow to point towards who put down that minion, which villain that minion belongs to.
Okay.
Right.
So, and you need to spend greed. You can flip over a 2 and a 1, or you can flip over the 3.
No, I'm just going to flip over the 3. Must I use all 7 points of greed?
No.
Okay, but I think I'm going to.
You can choose how greedy you want to be. But remember, the greedier you are, the more hope the heroes are going to get.
It's the start of the game, do what you want.
Do it. Do it.
Okay,
Do it.
I'm going to grab...
It's a bad day when Dirk is the voice of reason and I'm the one that's egging you on.
Do
That
it.
is never
Do
a
it.
good sign. I just want you to know that.
I'm going to grab 2 minions. 1, 2, right off the top of the deck. And then I'll flip over this one.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for all that hope.
Good job, Ann. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And now it's your turn.
Certainly.
So,
you're not going to play
Julie,
one
I've
of
got
those
a quick question for you here. So, on my card here for Brian, it says at the end of the round, if Brian controls minions with a total fight of 20 or more, Brian wins the game. Is that, when I control the minions, do they have to be face up, or can they be face down on the board as well?
They can be face down because but you have to control them.
Okay, so it's up to me to remember that then. Okay, cool.
So actually, no, they'll never be face down because it's the end of the round. Everything flips over by the end of the round and resolves.
Oh,
so
okay.
They would never be face down.
Gotcha.
It could be surprise. I have 20 points.
Gotcha. Okay.
So now it's my turn, and I get to choose one of my heroes to go with?
Actually, no, it can't be surprise. I have 20 points because face down you can still. Oh no, you can because you're only seeing the cost, not the
Right.
price. Yeah. No.
I happen to remember someone beating me at my own game using that strategy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
So, Julie, it's my turn now?
It is.
All right. So I'm going to choose one of my heroes to go with?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, they placed it at a location where you already have a hero.
Okay.
If you want to move a hero, it's going to cost you 1 hope as well. And you can also, once per turn, you're going to collect your 3 abilities. But the one other thing that you're going to be able to do, so you're going to purchase your 3 different abilities with the hope that you have. You can spend 1 to move a hero to a different location.
Okay.
And then if you have charm, you can also recruit additional innocence. The cost of the charm equal to the cost of the innocent. So for an officer, you would need 3 charm. The cost of an adult 2, and place them at a location. So basically, you're like, hey, Officer Bob, I need you to go over and check out that lighthouse. And then if you're charming enough or compelling enough, they will actually listen to you. Most of the time they're going to go, what? No, and move on. So just so you're aware. Those are your options.
So if I activate Mr. Rhee, can I do anything against the minion and played?
So let's take a look at his ability.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so Mystery may discard his entire hand, at least 1 card, to prevent an innocent from being removed from play at his location. Then flip Mystery.
So there are no cards in hand, and there are no innocents being removed. So right now, he does not have that ability cannot be in effect.
He's trying to attack me already. We're not even through the first round, and he's trying to come at me. Come at me, bro.
All right, so I should start collecting cards then.
Correct. But since you are going to be using him first, it would behoove you to exhaust him to show that that is the one that you are using first, so that you can't be sneaky and be like, no, really, I meant him the second time.
Why don't you move them here so that it's not just you that sees what's going on? No, I'm enjoying this as he tries to angle them. This is amazing.
All right, so I get my first cards free because I don't have any cards in my hand.
Correct.
And my second card's going to be 1.
Which cards are you selecting so that everybody in the audience might know what cards you're getting?
So
It's almost like Ann said that.
Don't worry, he already thought of that.
So you selected this one?
The fight's the first one I'm going to pick.
Okay.
And that one's free.
Okay.
Joshua,
yes.
All this open purple space right here.
I'm gonna hurt you.
In the
emotionally,
because
you've already done that. I'm dying
there you
inside.
Go. And there you go. Proud of you.
All right, so the first one was free.
First one's free. Next one's gonna cost 1.
Okay.
And the one after that's gonna cost 2. So that's a total of 3.
Yeah.
So I spend this 3 hope to do that. And that gets flipped over and puts on the bottom of the deck, right?
Correct.
So we need another one. It's going to be 3 hope.
Should not have given him 4 hope.
No, you shouldn't have. It's okay. You didn't know that was a 4.
So I'll take another card. I still have 1 hope left over from that.
You don't get to make change.
Okay, I can't use it for something else or no?
That's the whole.
Well,
That's what.
you could use it to move your hero,
Okay.
but I'm not sure why you would do that since he is in fact at that location, correct?
Yep. I could make him transform.
You could make him transform. But yep.
What are you gonna do?
Transform meaning that you would flip him to the other side.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave him on the side he's on.
Okay.
So I'll just burn that last hope.
Yep.
Burning hope already.
Everything burns. Yes, sir.
Everything burns.
Should probably see a doctor about that.
Oh, and now you would put 2 new greed out for the next villain.
Okay.
So Matt, you have 6 greed.
Sure, Anne uses all the greed, and I get stuck with that. That's fine.
Me.
Greed over there.
So I'm gonna put this one. I'm gonna spend 3 greed to put this at this location right here. I'm okay with that. So if you can, the middle 2, Anne.
The middle 2. So you gave him 2, and I want this 1.
Oh, look
All
at
right.
that. It was like I'm thrifty or something. There's still 3 greed on the board.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do much with that. I could just recruit another minion.
Yeah.
And that's 1 greed to recruit another minion, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to do that. I'll spend the 1 greed there. Hopefully it's... Okay, it's only a 1. And then I recruit another minion over to me.
And then you do have 2 greed left to send that one out since that was a 2.
That is a 2. That is true.
Josh is trying to get you to give him hope in case you didn't
Right,
pick up on that
Make no
subtleness.
mistake. He's trying
Yeah.
to
And
stock
that is
up.
the prerogative of the hero, is to instigate things that maybe will distract the villains from him and focus on each other.
Yeah.
Give them more hope.
What do you-
That is a very good tactic, John.
You can also
he's-
transform for 2
he's,
too.
He's using his charm right there.
Yeah.
Why are you giggling, Julie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Josh, can you show the audience your charming face?
There it is.
Oh, boy. It's like you and the
It's
hula
the
video.
No.
yeah.
All right, so I'm good with that. I'm not going to give him that other hope over there. So I believe that's just going to end my turn then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright. So
And now it's your turn again.
I'm gonna activate Brian. Or not Brian, Ganon.
Oh, yeah, Brian Gannon.
Same thing.
Come on now.
You
Come
don't.
on.
You don't see.
So I can exhaust Ganon to move him to the same location as another hero. So since everyone's at the lighthouse, I might as well have him come there.
You sure?
I don't have to spend any hope to do that.
Oh, good.
Oh, look at Jen.
Oh, yes. He's falling into the trap.
And then I am going to spend the 4 hope I have to get 1 last card.
Oh, okay.
What? What's that noise?
I don't know.
Whoa. What do you do if somebody comes in and asks for their steak well done?
You ask them politely but firmly to leave.
All right, Ann.
Proceed to
All right,
throw it
Julie,
on the
we
ground.
just finished my turn.
All right, so that was
Names.
everybody got their action to do. Now we're going to resolve it. So Anne went 1st, which means Anne gets to choose which location. Typically, there's more than one. In this case, there isn't. What would resolve first? Strategically, it always is in Anne's best interest to have every other villain's location on the board resolved before her own, so that the hero's hand is depleted before he or she gets to that villain.
Okay.
But since you both kind of just hung out at that one spot, you're all hanging out at the lighthouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's a nice day at the beach.
Beach day!
I packed a picnic basket.
You know,
Of
little
tentacles.
sun, little sand, little mayhem and death. So these are going to resolve. So normally, you kind of Matt stole Anne's thunder and not splitting up the attack. And Anne would choose, but here there's only one to choose, so you will all flip over your cards and reveal what minions and which innocents are there.
Okay, so I'm going to flip over Matt's card first.
Okay. And zombie right here. So he's got 3 fight, 3 resist, but this minion gains +2 fight while at least one hero is at this location.
How'd you get the picture of me from this morning?
So that means that since there's a hero at this location, it's going to be 5 fight.
Correct.
I just got my eyeball in at lunch.
Oh, boy. Oh, look, we both played zombies. Look at that. Look at
We're so cute.
Yeah, teammates. Yay.
Nice little
Gonna
zombie
make
couple.
the sudden but inevitable betrayal that much sweeter.
We don't
So that's
betray
one
people
zombie,
here.
But there's more than one card there, right?
Yes, we
Did
have.
you only play the one?
No, we each only played one minion, and now we have the innocents to flip over.
Delightful.
We got Tony.
Oh, jeez. He does look like Tony Kneecaps.
We got the Mad Bomber. And we got Ben. Ben looks scared.
Oh!
These are all characters from Nightmare World, we might add.
So each of the characters and each of the monsters are in different stories. So you can go and find them all and what their actual sad tale is. So what is their total fight?
6.
6, which beats each of your 5s. Which means it was for naught. Now, if there hadn't been any heroes there, well, you wouldn't have had the +2 to have a 5 anyway. But let's say you had a higher amount and it was a tie, or even the 3s. If there was a tie, if there's no hero there, you treat it almost as it was a tie. The innocents are holding their ground, but they can't defeat the minions. The minions aren't overwhelming them, but they're hanging in there and waiting for more reinforcements.
So this is 6, and then... So this is 6 cumulatively. Are these 6 as well because they were played face down?
You look at them each individually. So because there are innocents there... because there are heroes there, the innocents have the
Advantage.
And also the confidence to defeat them, which means that both minions will be removed and discarded. Right. The innocents got to do it on their own without any help of the hero this turn, which means the hero didn't have to expend anything to help them out. If there had been less fight so say there had been 3 children and it was a 3, then the hero would have had to step in to help them defeat the minions.
Okay.
We'll see that, I'm sure, in another.
And on the plus side, you now know who's at that location, so you know what you have to put in there to start taking people out.
Okay. All right.
Got it. And so it's cumulative if it's multiple of your minions in the same spot?
Correct. Now that was a tie, so it would have resolved all simultaneously. Otherwise, the winning minion team will be the one that goes against a hero if there's a hero, and if they win, they have the choice to either kill an innocent, recruit a minion from an opposing team, or get rid of the hero.
Okay.
But we didn't get to do any of those things this time because the innocents kind of kicked your bum.
Stupid innocents.
So that was day 1. We're now on to night 1.
Okay.
Now, you mentioned that during the day and night phase that both the villains and the heroes had different advantages.
Correct.
What?
So, you have 2 advantages. One is if anything says discard a card. During the day, the hero gets to choose which card that is. During the night, the villains do.
Okay.
Is it a blind draw, like the cards are face down, they just pick one and throw it away?
Correct. And then during the other one being if anybody has to move, say a hero has to move, during the day, the hero can choose what location they move to. During the night, the villain does.
I want to back
Gotcha.
up to this fight just one more time so I can make sure that I understand how the math works. So the zombie here that we played, it was played face down as 3 points. So his fight is 3. That would be the number that we're going to compare against the cumulative amount of the innocence, and plus, which was 6. And then he's going to get +2 because the heroes that were there. So the innocents had a cumulative amount of 6, and then against his fight of 5.
Correct.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I understood what was going on correctly.
But if there was another minion that was played from the same person, their fights would be cumulative together as well.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
because we each played one, they're not a team.
Right.
Okay, okay. I'm getting it.
We just
You
gave
are
Josh a
not
head start. It's fine.
Villains are not a team. They do not work together well. They can on occasion, but it's not.
Too greedy.
Yeah. Well, for example, Thelma, who's not in play. Thelma, her win condition is to rack up a body count. So sometimes other villains might move innocents to other locations, and it's not altruism. It's to keep her from killing off and getting her win condition. So there's an example.
Gotcha.
Okay, so night phase, and then I start again, or does that change depending on Josh's mood?
So now we're in night phase, and now Josh gets to pick. Yes.
Okay.
We'll have Matt go first.
Me? Little old me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, you.
Okay. So... I'll try this.
9 greed available for you, Matt.
This looks fun. I'm going to spend...
This looks fun.
I could be wrong. We'll find out. I'll spend... Oh, there's only 9. Yeah, sure. I'll spend 7. So can you flip the 4 and the 2 to the left of it? And the 1 to the left of that. So that's the 7. So I'm going to play this minion face up here, this one. So when played face up, you may remove 1 innocent at this location.
Oh, going in hot.
Going in hot.
So where's the officer there?
Do you do that now or during when we resolve everything?
That is a great question. Julie?
I'm sorry, one more time. I was looking at the commentary. The peanut gallery distracted me.
That's fine. So I'm playing that minion face up on the lighthouse location. Do I target that officer now, or is that during the resolution?
Nope, right now.
Okay. So
Villains wait for no one.
Tony's
Tony
going
Nichols.
away. Sorry, Tony.
Oh, Tony Maiello's gone.
Let's put them... Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter.
But not forgotten. How many bananas, Dirk? How many bananas would
He
that
would be at a solid 3 bananas right now for being taken. See, and then you can go back later and read the books, and you'll learn Tony's story, which is a very interesting one.
So then, yeah, why not? I'm going to take that last 2 greed, and I'm going to spend that also to put this one face down. Oh, arrow pointed
Arrow to
towards
you.
me. There we go.
All
So
right.
you're going to stack those so that we know that they're all lined up in your peeps.
Gotcha.
And just to double check, what is your win condition again? What is it that you have to do? You
I
can
have to
control
control.
2 locations, or
Mine is I have to have minions with a total fight of 20 or more.
okay,
All
Or
right.
take over 2 locations.
or take 2 locations. Hope you're paying attention, Vanessa.
All right, so it's my turn.
No. Yes.
I will activate Ganon. And can I do anything with the face-up minion with... No, because I don't have ability to do that.
He wants to beat me up. Wants to punch me in the face. I don't like
So
that.
I can spend hope
Aggressive.
to recruit more innocents.
Nah.
No, you can spend charm to recruit more innocents.
charm.
So you can purchase charm and then spend it.
Okay, I have to do charm. Okay,
He's thinking. You can see the smoke coming out of his ears.
if I don't spend any of the hope, does Anne get no greed for her turn?
No.
No,
you're-
it
you're-
wipes. Okay.
Nice. Oh, that was interesting, though.
Nice
That
try.
is a good question, but no, all hope is lost.
All hope is lost. Okay. So
The horror series.
All hope,
The horror
hope
game.
all you who enter here.
so I have 10 hope.
That's a lot.
It's more than he has in real life.
So all I can do to all my hope is to buy cards and transform my guys. Because I'm already at the location I want to be at.
Do you hear the salt in his voice?
Yes.
Daddy shark do 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 do.
So I'm going to spend 6. I'm
Okay.
going to transform Ganon.
And what does that do?
So Ganon now wins ties at his location.
Okay.
And I'm going to buy a charm.
He's got that superhero look right there.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a little Michael Bolton there.
That's why Josh probably chose him.
That's why Mystery doesn't like him. He secretly hates Michael Bolton.
And then I could spend 1 charm.
Can you spare it?
I can spare a little bit charm. Just for you, Matt.
Okay.
Can I have 1 innocence?
You sure can. There you go.
Yeah, that would be a child.
A child. It's still an innocence.
Correct, but the charm has to equal the fight.
Yep. So we got Samuel, the baby. I'm trying to feed a baby to a vampire. That's
Exactly. That brings up one of the most fascinating points, I think, of the game that Greenbrier's created is the fact that you are knowingly and willfully putting a child where there is a vampire to try to
Look at that mother's face.
delay the inevitable taking over that location.
Yeah, she knows what you're doing there, Josh. She's looking like, seriously, you're gonna feed him to a vampire?
It's not that innocent of an innocent if you read the comic.
Oh, okay.
Just there.
Samuel's
That baby's
pretty horrible.
not that innocent.
That's a
Right
really
now,
evil
Samuel's
baby.
a baby.
Just gonna throw that out there as well.
All right. So I have 4 hope left.
You just burn it.
Can I spend
Just burn.
magic or fight for anything else?
What you don't need it.
Or is only charm I can spend, Julie?
You can spend the charm right now to recruit 1 innocent.
All right. I don't have any
That
charm,
is
though.
once per round. So right now, all you're doing is spending hope to gather more cards if you can. If you can't, that's about all you can do, man. Unless
Okay.
you've done what you can with Ganon.
Yep, I did everything I could with Ganon, so I can't spend the last 4 hope.
I'm glad I spent that. Great. Glad I was greedy.
Well, you use that card and you spent that card. How many cards are in your hand?
I have 5 cards in my hand, and there's 4.
Okay, yeah. So that's something strategically I have on many an occasion as a hero bought my charm first so that I can do the recruiting and then go back down to 0 so that it still costs less.
Yeah.
When I buy cards. You can do that.
Yeah, next time I will.
Okay.
He didn't think of that.
I didn't.
One of the things I like so much about the game is what you're starting to already notice as a hero is the impending sense of doom that you're already starting to feel, because it's like, oh wow, they're starting to stack up really quick. And I know I have 5 rounds to go, but you can already start to feel that pressure of all the Nightmare World villains starting to slowly creep in on you. The impending doom is just succulent.
Yum, 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 yum.
Remind me again, Julie, what the difference was between playing a card face down or face up without there being that condition like Matt had with the vampire, where it's explicitly said, play this up and you get this advantage.
Right, your ability can be something specific to face down, face up, but in general, a face down is going to be grouped with any other minions you have there, and they're going to go against all the innocents and the hero at that location in the resolution part of the action part of the phase. Face up means it's targeted directly at that moment when you play it.
Okay.
So think of it as if you were in a horror movie when there's a bunch of people all crowded out and frightened, and there's that first gotcha moment where like the snake bites somebody in the face, or the goblin comes by and like kneecaps the one person, and then they all pile in and everybody's fighting. It's that initial one gotcha moment. That's
So
what face up is.
Matt should have targeted someone with his vampire when he played it face up, because I think we skipped that.
Yes, I thought no, you got Tony.
No, you got Tony.
No, that was the ability on it. I thought the ability was
He
separate.
could remove.
Oh.
Oh, did I play
Yeah.
that incorrectly then?
Because you also target someone. It's on top of the removing.
You got two. Yeah, you got to do that, and you got to target somebody
Oh, that's
because
cool.
that's what yeah.
Oh, so you're okay. So what you're saying is that I could have used the vampire then to take out the innocent person then too.
Yeah, so back up Samuel. We're backing up.
So then I would have taken out the Mad Bomber then too, because that would be my 3
Correct.
fight up against his 2.
Correct.
Okay.
And could I help with that at all or no?
Nope.
Hey.
Well, no. If you were using Rhee that turn, you could have.
He
Okay.
You
did
could
not.
discarded your hand to prevent one innocent life from being lost.
So if you back that up, so Matt went first, and then Josh would have gone at the end of his turn. So you're saying, how does that resolve? So if
So let's
Matt's
back the whole turn. Let's try it again. Can we do that?
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say then you would have taken the innocent
Yeah.
back. So let's say Matt did that attack and he took out the bomber. How would Josh at this point use Mr. Rhee's ability
Well,
in order to
I would have done it before that. I would have done it at Tony.
So, Mr. Rhee can discard his entire hand
Correct.
to use his ability.
But you haven't chosen Mr. Rhee yet because it hasn't been your turn. That's my
Right,
question.
So you could have, but Mr. Rhee is at that location, so you could have immediately
could've.
said, "I'm using Rhee this turn.
Gotcha.
I'm going to discard my whole hand, and he cannot take out Tony."
Were you going to choose that option?
No.
Okay.
All right.
But
so I
what
think
about when he jumps in to take the Mad Bomber too? You could also
Yeah.
do it at that point if you want.
It has already been discarded. Well, either or, but Tony's the higher points.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would have done it for Tony, and then discarded it. Then I would have used the charm, which is now a free charm and a +1 for the hope. So we would have had to backtrack that whole thing.
Yeah.
So playing it strategically, countering that would have been a little bit different.
Yep.
okay.
But I don't know if you want to give up all your cards as the hero either. To be fair.
Yeah. So I
Sometimes you
had
just gotta
5
let
cards.
One go.
And sometimes that is the choice. Sometimes you can do something, but it's going to hurt you overall, so you don't. It's the hard choice you have to make.
Yeah, because the less innocents that are on that location, the more likely they can take it. But if you don't want to give up all those cards you amassed earlier, you just gotta let Tony go bye-bye. And Samuel.
Bye.
Okay. So you have piled up on this location.
Sure did.
When this relocation resolves, is Matt going to be able to use the vampire a third time for her fight?
Yes.
That's a cool card.
Yes, she is.
It was expensive to play it.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. For
And
that very
because-
reason.
And because this is a team, whatever he's got here that's been played face down, those fights will be cumulative against the innocence fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the innocents, Josh might have a boon from having the heroes at this location.
Yep.
So that's all. So if I piled in at this location and it resolved all together, how would that work? Would my minions need to separately take out these two innocents, or
I choose to resolve who resolves first. So I
who
would.
or location? No, you resolve. You.
I would.
Let's hold on. Let's say it doesn't. Regardless, if she puts minions at that location, whenever it resolves, the villain with the higher minions, is going to be the one that resolves against the heroes.
Oh,
So
okay.
all simultaneously when there was a tie, like there was last time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So then, would Matt get the boon if I can't overpower his minions?
Correct.
Okay. So here my thought process needs to be, one, can I bring on a stronger attack than Matt already has lined up here?
Yeah.
And two, if I, is that fight big enough to handle this situation over here?
You got it.
Okay. So then I don't think that I'm going to be able to do that over there with your
You could try.
bajillion fight. What was your? You played a
Fight's 3.
a two.
Yeah, you could beat me. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I don't know if you haven't picked up on that in the past couple of years, but I don't trust you at all.
There's a lot of greed down there. You can get some minions.
I'm thinking that might be.
Because you see the top card of the minion deck is 5 greed. So it's probably a powerful one.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 4, 7, 8, 9 greed that I can use right now. That's a lot of greed.
Use none of it.
I think I might use it all, actually, just to spite you.
You have 10 greed. Yeah, that's 10.
5. Oh, it is 10. Ha! I have 10. Okay.
Good job, accountant.
Thanks.
You get paid for that?
You believe that? People pay me money to do that stuff.
Yes.
I think that I'm going to... Oh, man. Okay, so
You also spend 2 greed to transform. I don't know what that does.
Your
but you
mouth
do
is
it.
running... I don't know what it does, but you should do it anyway.
You look better that way.
I do. Play 3 greed to gain control of an innocent at Vanessa's location. I don't know if I want to do that. Vanessa controls 3 innocents at the same location as a hero. Okay, I am going to... I think that what I want to do is I'm going to spend 7 greed. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that idea.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
I like it. Go in hot. Go in hot, Vanessa.
Do it.
5 and 7. Do I want to do 7? Or I don't know if this is going to pan out, but we'll
Let's
see
see
what
what
happens.
happens.
And I'm going to play him here
Point them towards you, not towards Matt.
at the Miskatonic Hospital.
Do you want to flip the 3 or not flip the 3?
What do you mean?
Which greed cards you flipping?
Oh, well,
You can either flip the 3 or you flip the 2
you know,
and the
maybe I
1.
can do 5, 4, 5, 6, and maybe I can do the 4 too.
Good.
Just flip
if you
them
want.
all.
You could flip them all.
I don't know if that's exactly what I want to do though. So 4 gives you 4. What did I get? 5, 6, 7?
Yep.
Yep. Need 3 more.
That gives you 4.
3 gives you 4.
That's poopy. And then I'm gonna play 2 and take 2. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm okay with this life choice.
It's a lot of hope you gave him there.
Did you see how much you gave him?
Not as much as that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you have 1 more.
Do you see what he did with all yours?
Already the villains are at each other's throats.
Yeah, it's
It's
all the
Monday.
time. Yeah, it's just a Monday.
That was cute. Can you do that again with little tiny T-Rex arms? Can we get him the little T-Rex
Yes,
grabber?
we can.
I want one so bad, so he can grab stuff at the other end of the table.
So what are you doing with your turn there, Josh? Jersh?
He's thinking. You don't hear it? Because I do. Sounds like this. Hope everybody home enjoyed that.
At least you can amuse yourself, man. That's the important thing.
All right, so I'm going to spend 1 hope to move Mr. Reed
And where are you moving him to?
to the
Can you
hospital.
not? I think he wants to go to the cemetery.
Um,
He wants to check out the view. It's nighttime. He's hunting monsters.
I want to grab another card, so it's going to cost 5, so I need to spend 6 total.
At least I make him burn hope.
And then I'm going to spend 1 charm.
What is that?
Which one was it?
It was the me thumbs up. So that's one of our new. That's one of our new follower alerts.
That was the scariest thing that happened in the game so far.
Which one's the singing heads?
That's a
If
$25 tip.
someone gives $25, you'll get a treat.
Oh,
That was terrifying.
Okay, so I bought a charm, I spent it to get an innocence, and then I bought a charm again, and I'm going to spend it for an innocence, so I'm going to get 2 innocent children.
Okay.
I really want somebody to tip $25 so badly. Why are you throwing things violently at me? So badly. Look at you.
I'm not tonight.
So it's just the thumbs up one?
No,
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 the
it
one
was
where
the,
he
oh
goes
yeah, no, it was me
Oh,
coming
with
up
the
from
double
the
thumb
side.
up?
Yeah.
The
The
mat
thumbs
up?
up over my face already played.
Yeah, I don't think they noticed
I
it before.
peed a little. All right. I'm just putting it out there, guys. I peed a little.
I mean, I did too, but it's not because of laughing.
No, that would terrify me.
All right.
I'm in a wet spot.
You okay there, Jules?
Carry on. Carry on.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay.
I think Julie's done.
She's done with us. Yeah.
I don't know if
broken.
the screen's froze. Oh no, it's not. She moved it.
Okay, so now we all went. It's time to resolve this, right?
Yep. So Matt,
Okay.
you get to choose results first.
I'm gonna let Ann resolve first.
Thanks, Matt.
Anytime, friend.
Shocking.
Shocking. Okay, so I'm going to start by flipping over my minions.
So what you got? Oh, you got a little chihuahua from hell.
Isn't
It's
it
so
adorable?
cute. Oh,
Chupacabra.
oh, those eyes with the green screening are.
Terrifying and fantastic.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So this minion is
And you
immune to
cannot
charm
charm the
actions.
Chupacabra.
And you also got this bad boy here. Look at that. So when revealed, move one of your other minions or villain that are in play to this location.
I don't have any,
Oh.
so I wasn't able to use that.
Ba-dum-ba-dum-bam.
So it's a
So
fight of 6.
yes, because I have 4 for my gargoyle and 2 for my chupacabra.
Oh.
Oh man, stop.
Officer for 3. You got the adults for 2, Eric and Violet, and then Octavia, another adult for 2.
Nope.
So that is 7. 7 is more than 6 last time I checked. So your minions don't do a very good job there.
Nope. And that's it.
Officer Letterman.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay. So then for me there, I've got the vampire again.
So for
You know,
3.
It's for 3. And then I got myself a chupacabra too. So that's a total of 5.
There is 4 innocents there.
Ah.
So Julie, what happens now?
All right. So do you have somebody there?
Yeah.
Ganon.
Ganon. And
Yeah.
Ganon's first instinct or first is to fight,
Okay.
and you're on the side that a tie will win.
Yep.
So you need just one fight to defeat the minions there, correct?
Pow. Right
That
in
was
the
my
kisser.
face. It was actually my face.
Okay. Josh punched the chupacabra.
So he discards that one fight and
Punted it.
defeats the you punted
Punted the Chupacabra.
I feel like Gannon was on the football team. He Boy Scout. You
Yeah.
know.
No, that's a fair assessment. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Hell of a kick.
he ate, what is it, 5 dozen eggs every morning to help him get large.
He's
Then when he
roughly
grew, he
the
had 6 dozen
size
eggs.
of a barge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we're all there. So yes, you get to now. You're discarding. You as the villain get to choose. Obviously, you're going to choose the chupacabra over the vampire. So yes, you can discard one minion. And that was the end of the round.
Oh wait, so I don't get rid of the vampire?
You get to pick one to get rid of.
Did Anne have to get rid of both of hers since she lost both of them, or just one of them?
Just one.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. So the other one
And a
remains
gargoyle.
at that location?
Correct.
Okay.
That's how you get him to stack. Okay.
Gotcha.
This,
Stop being broken.
I get it now.
this makes more sense.
Okay, so we're going to be moving on to day number 2.
There you go.
Josh.
And you go first.
Smooth move, X-Lax. Beat him up, beat him up, beat him up, beat him up.
Ooh, I likey. Okay. So 5, 6, 7.
You've punted the chupacabra. Quote of the night.
That poor Chupacabra.
What did it ever do to you?
It was barking a lot, and I just want to take a nap.
When you read the story that they're in, they're actually very nice, noble little vampire chicken dogs or vampire
Goat
vampire,
suckers?
lizard dogs.
I'm going to be playing 5 greed, and I'm going to place this card face down at the Miskatonic Hospital.
Okay.
So 3 gives him 3. 1 gives him 3. Sorry, 1 gives him 1. 3, 4, 5. Do I want to take the 3 more? Do I want to place this somewhere? So for my minion number 10, it said when revealed, move one of your other minions. So now he's already been revealed. Is that special ability done for?
Correct. You have to do it you have to time it that it's on the reveal.
Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Not gonna be greedy.
I'm gonna make smart choices. I think.
Sorry.
Should I use it? I shouldn't ask you.
Do it.
Do it?
Do it.
But what would I do with it? I would pull 3 more minions?
Yeah.
Or you could spend 2 greed to put one of those out.
Don't do it.
No, I don't know if I want to do that. Why do I want to put one of those out, though?
I don't know.
Remember, what's your win condition, Vanessa?
I need 2 locations, or I need to control 3 innocents. How many innocents can I control if I win the fight?
Julie.
You control all of them.
Okay, fine. Then I'm spending the greed. 3.
Yes.
And then I'm going to put out... I'm going to pull one. I'm going to put out this 2 face down, and I'm going to pull a minion. Oh my god, I can't wait to show you this one. It's so cute. Okay.
Josh, who you activating, buddy?
You look a
10
little
hope.
nervous over there.
All right, what am I going to do with 10 hope? Gonna hope for a good time.
You're looking nervous, Josh. Tell us how you're feeling right now playing the game.
Emotionally on the inside.
You were looking pretty confident at the end of day 1. What happened?
Yeah. I'm gonna activate Ganon.
You know what I'm really excited for?
No, tell me, Ann.
At the end of this game where Josh tells us how he would have won if only.
Ganon's gonna come move to the hospital.
Do that.
I'm then gonna spend 4.
Go away from the hospital. What are you doing here?
That's
I need to stop talking. I don't know.
9. I'm gonna spend 9 charm to grab 9 hope to grab 2 charm cards.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the 2 charm cards to buy a innocent adult.
An innocent adult. Okay.
Yes. Who's gonna go to the hospital?
I'm gonna give you the sexy innocent adult there.
Wanna show it?
There you go.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
So that's who you're bringing. That's who you're bringing to the hospital.
She's going to get her monthly test.
Jesus, Josh.
What?
Nothing.
TV personality.
I'm not gonna say anything.
She's
I'm not
innocent.
gonna give her any story points in the.
That was not.
He is that guy. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's Josh.
Why are you looking at me? Why do you think that I'm
giving me
going
the
to
stare.
give you I'm going to
Cosplay
help you
is
feel
not
better
consent.
about that life choice?
That's right.
Or being a horror movie hostess is not consent.
My mother used to call me Elvira Floozy of the Dark in high school.
Okay, we learn something new every day. So
Horror
it's
movie
Bluesy of the Dark?
yes, yes, she did.
Elvira.
All right, carry on. All right, we'll have this discussion another time.
I'm gonna go ahead and
This game's getting
spend.
good now.
I'm gonna spend that 1 greed on that end there to grab this minion. Let me gotta read this one here.
You want to put your glasses a little further down on your nose there, Grandpa?
Yeah,
What are you
that's
doing?
Holy God! Wow.
Okay, thanks, Ann. So then I'm gonna spend 6, 7, 8. There's 8 available there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sure, why not? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put this minion over here. So that's 5 greed. So I'm gonna
See what you did?
spend this one here.
What did I do?
Now that you've piled
This is
everybody up
what
at the
I did.
hospital,
Oh, that was
You
a
left-
4. That was a
you
2.
left 2 locations unguarded.
Then I'm gonna spend a greed to pick this guy up over here, and I'm going to play it.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh man.
Good job, Matt.
That's fine. It'll be fine. I'll play this one over here. Sure, why not?
I love looking at Julie's face right now at this stage in the game. Is always my favorite part.
Have some bits, Grandpa Matt. Where's the big cup?
It's not on. I took it away.
It gets disabled for the spotlights. So, Josh, it's on you.
I'll spend 1 to move Mr. Rhee to the cemetery.
Oh, interesting move.
Is it really? Or are you just saying things?
Just saying things.
Just
it's
asking.
fine.
And when I recruit innocents, do they have to be at the location I'm at? Or can it be to any location?
The location you're at.
Okay.
You have to bring them to you.
So you could recruit first and then move
Okay.
if that was what you wanted to do.
Like you could recruit them at one location and then
Yeah.
move your character away to another location after.
He's having a stroke.
So, Josh.
I'm going to buy 2 charm.
Okay.
So it's going to cost me this 1 is 5. I'm going to spend the 2 charm to recruit a innocent adult.
Okay. And where are you putting that innocent adult?
It's going to go in the cemetery.
Well, I mean, you could put it at the hospital, too. Oh, no, that was the
I'm
last turn.
activating
Never
Mr.
mind,
Reed.
that's right. I'm going to give you the homeless man.
That was a nice try. I appreciated that. That little throw right under the bus. That was
Yeah,
good.
No problem. Toot
Thanks.
toot.
And then I am going to... I'm going to spend this 3
Okay.
to move over to the lighthouse. And then I'm going to spend another 1 to transform Mr. Reed. And then I am going to activate Mr. Reed's ability.
So what is said ability? Exhaust Mystery to make a villain discard a card.
See, the day-night conditions, and we're in a day phase.
Okay.
Matt, you're going to get rid of your 1 card.
That's fine with me. Okay.
Can we see what it was before you discard
Sure.
it?
It was this grumpy-looking demon with a clipboard here.
He's got a clipboard. That's great.
After the first time you remove an innocent each round, you may remove a second at this location. He kind of looks like my boss.
The fun one?
No.
No? Oh. That middle
one of my
management
favorite-
lifestyle.
That is one of my favorite demons from the Nightmare World series, Ozzy Caprice. Just putting that out there.
That's awesome.
Alright, so that's the end of my turn.
Okay. And so now we have to resolve. So, and because you went first, you get to choose.
That middle management lifestyle.
I would like the cemetery and the lighthouse to resolve first.
Okay. Cool. So, I'll do...
So in which order? You can pick.
I think I would like the lighthouse to resolve first.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, flip that over. So I've got another Chupacabra. Oh, that's... The eyes are so terrifying. Jeez, with the green screen. So that's got 2 fight, and so the vampire there has 3 fights. So it's 5 fight going up against the 4 fight. The 4 for the innocents that are there.
All right, and since this is not Ganon, I don't win on ties. I have to beat him, Julie?
Correct. And you cannot, if you have magic. So I'm sorry. Is there anybody? Is there a hero there?
Yeah, there's a hero there.
Mr. Rhee is there.
Mr.
It's
Rhee
just
is
he's
there.
turned sideways. Sorry.
So if you have magic, you must use magic first.
Okay, what about the dog's ability?
The
It
minion-
being immune to magic.
He's immune to magic.
Doesn't matter. You'd have to discard your magic cards completely before you can move on to fight.
Okay, so I can't...
So here's the thing. Do you have magic cards?
I do.
How many?
2.
2. And what is the resist of the vampire?
The resist of the vampire is 4.
So you cannot use magic to target her and attack her. You would have to have at least 5, and then that would kill her outright. You can't use it against the chupacabra because the chupacabra is immune.
What about
So
the
it's
innocents there? They don't help?
They have 4. They have 4
Okay.
fight. So you would have to discard those 2 magic to move on to the fight and get rid of them completely. So you can either choose to lose at this location, or you can choose to discard those 2 magic so that you can move on to fight to help those innocents. That is what you have to decide to do.
I will lose at this location.
So you're foregoing any... Okay.
But,
Well, in that case, one of those innocents is getting killed, or you get knocked to a different location.
And whose choice is that?
That is the winner's choice.
It's a Matt's
Which would
choice?
be, in this case, Matt.
All right.
You gonna? What are you getting?
What
So
do
is it my choice to kill the innocent or knock him to a location, or that's his
Correct.
choice?
No,
Okay.
that's your choice. If you win, that's what you get to decide.
Gotcha.
So why wouldn't you go to your fight?
I'd spend 4 cards, and I have this other location to handle. And let's
He's
spend
given this one up so he can make a Custer's Last Stand at the second location.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's as you get for the hero. The challenging part to me is I'm also looking at where do I have the most likely chance of winning a fight, but also who might be in a position to win the game if I don't focus on them this round.
Okay. So I am going to choose to kill one of the innocents instead. Get rid
Okay.
of one of the innocents. Doesn't really matter. They're
I'd
all one
like
right
to
there.
know why Florida, who is very obviously in a cemetery at nighttime, is considered an innocent. Because there's no good reason a child is hanging out in a cemetery
You'd
in
have
the middle
to
of the
read
night.
the comic that explains.
Yes. Read Tales of Mystery. You will find out her tale of
She's
woe.
visiting Daddy's grave.
Sorry, in the comic as an innocent.
She is very innocent. You are victim blaming right now.
So I'm going to go ahead, and then I'm activating this location here, the cemetery, right?
Okay.
Right. So I've got this minion. So when revealed, move one of your other minions or villains that are in play to this location. So I'm going to take the vampire, and I'm going to move her to this location, too. Because why not, right?
So wait. So you are moving them so that. Hold on.
Yep.
Back that
Okay.
up. Back that up.
Backing it
Back
up.
it up.
Back it
Because
up.
you just beat that location, so you know what that means.
What does that mean?
It means you have taken over one location.
Okay.
Which means your villain can now move on to that spot.
Okay, so this is going to allow me to start using my abilities more then.
There you go. So
Gotcha.
now Brian is in play. So you may not want to move everybody so that you lose that foothold.
I see.
Said the blind man to the deaf mute.
You may want to. I don't know. But
I
right now, that is a stronghold, and you chose to leave a hero there who can defend it next time.
I think I'm still going to go for the Hail Mary here.
Alright.
For lack of a better term.
Screed. So beautiful.
Okay, just making sure.
So I'm going to move the vampire over to this location then. So I've got my 7 fight there, and he's got the homeless man showing. And the other innocents are Marcus, innocent child. Eddie's mom.
Does she have it going on?
Apparently she does. And the truck drivers.
You guys
So-
are trying to get me to sing. You're going to get me in trouble. Stop.
So this is 7 against... So this actually totals 7 as well. So what...
So
So...
that means it's a tie.
It's a
and
tie.
There's no hero there.
No.
So that's it. It's a standoff right now.
Okay. I'm okay
Mexican
with that.
standoff.
It's a vampire standoff.
Well, the truck driver, one of the truck drivers is Mexican, so it's truly a Mexican standoff.
So I made a good choice then, is what I'm
did.
hearing.
I mean,
I suppose.
that demon could also be Mexican, too. We don't know.
That's true. All right, so, Anne, you can resolve yours now.
Okay, so I have my gargoyle still here. And then I'm adding to it the little chupacabra.
Little chupacabra.
Love the chupacabra.
Different one?
Yeah, different one.
The vampire lizard dog.
Vampire
Okay.
lizard dog.
Same one. Oh my. Oh, over your shirt, Dirk? That was brutal.
And, invisible
Scandalous.
Cthulhu monster.
Invisible Cthulhu monster.
When revealed, put a minion with a face-down cost of 2 or less from your hand to this location, face up. Oh, Anne.
Oh, see, now that because of the green screen doesn't. That looked all sad.
Okay, this is the cute one I wanted to show everybody.
So this is going face up. He's going to green screen too. Oh, it's Josh.
Is it adorable?
When played face up, it's not. Okay. But you're going to get 2 additional fight there from this minion. I don't know what to call this one. But
At first, he reminded me a little bit of what's his name from Ghostbusters.
Kenny?
Hold him up. Which one is he? Let's see. I'll tell you who he is.
Not
Hold on.
Kenny. What?
my roommate. Yeah.
Oh, come here.
Oh.
Give him to me. Give
That
him to me.
is that's just the hairy gremlin. His name is Seth. That
Oh,
monster's name is Seth.
Hey, I can
Totally
picture that.
telling on you. I'm totally telling on you.
They had a special ability.
Oh, you didn't play it face up though.
When
It's no.
You may
I'm
put
sorry,
it
it
face up
says
at your.
what?
It says you may put it face up at your location. No. Okay, hold on. Let me read it. When revealed, put a minion with a face-down cost of 2 or less from your hand to this location face up. So does that count as playing this guy face up then, Julie?
When revealed, put a minion with a face down cost of 2 or less from your hand to this location. Do you have a minion of 2 or less?
Yeah, so it would be Seth here. So does this count as it being played face up to activate its ability?
When played face up, choose a player to discard a card. Sure does.
Oh, okay. I thought that you would have that would only count as when you were paying the cost. So that's a good
Yeah.
combo there, Ann.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Who are you making discard a card?
You.
Don't want me to match it?
Considering I have no cards, I think that would be a pretty poor decision.
All right. So how much strength do you have there?
4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Whoa.
I have
Woo.
2 4s and 2 2s.
Oh.
I have 2 2. It's so cute.
And that's going up against the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's there.
Okay, so then, but yeah, now Josh has Ganon in this location.
So he takes care of ties.
So I need 3 to make it up.
Oof.
Correct.
And you can't use
Uh-huh.
magic.
And I can't use magical Ganon, and I have only 2 fight in my hand.
Guess what?
So I lose.
Yes, I won this one! I was so worried I wasn't going to.
Oh damn. You almost hit me in the face there. That was terrifying.
Very exciting.
So that means you are going to either knock Ganon off or get rid of a minion, an innocent.
And keep in mind your win condition.
So I would get rid of an innocent.
I need to control 3 innocents at the same location. So do I want to keep the innocents at the location because then I would control them? So then
So
I
you're
would
going to,
kick Ganon off.
and then you.
Goodbye, Ganon. Nice knowing
No, don't
you.
put him on mine.
Yeah, no, he's going there. And then now I get to put Vanessa on the board. Right? So then Vanessa's going to go to the Miskatonic Hospital where you can check in, but you can never check out.
You can never leave. You can check out, but you can never leave.
Hey, Annie, she is okay. She's okay. She's okay, Annie.
And that
Annie, are
means,
you okay? And now, so then do I control these 4 innocents?
sure do.
And I am at the Miskatonic Hospital location?
You are.
And this is the end of a round?
It is.
So that means
How do you play?
I win!
At the end of a round, if Vanessa controls 3 innocents at the same location as a hero, Vanessa wins the game.
Oh, so you didn't want
Nope.
to. You wanted to kill an innocent.
Yep,
and
you wanted to
leave
kill an
him
innocent
there.
and leave the
So I
hero
was-
there.
Why?
Because
Wait,
it
what?
says you have to have it at the same location as a hero.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're dead. Sorry. No, I'm gonna keep her just because Josh said nasty things about her.
So
Okay.
there you go. Now there's 3 innocents there. You've got
Yes.
the officer and 2 adults. There's a hero at that location.
Yes.
And,
so am I.
yeah.
And so are you.
And so everybody's having a party at the hospital, at the mental ward.
The
Going
mental
insane
ward. Yes.
as Vanessa slides in and
There you go.
I just want to. Oh, thank you, Matt. I like this.
There you go.
I like it very much.
And I will say that when I have seen Vanessa win the games before, that's how she wins. Just fast and brutal. Just comes in out of nowhere.
That was a hard hit.
Girl power.
That was a good one, Ann.
That was a hard hit. That was a lucky combo too, because this is the minion that I pulled off the deck when I spent the extra.
Oh, really?
Well, the other
Yes.
thing is, she is really hard to. It's hard for her to win if the hero character isn't recruiting.
That's true, yeah.
Because then you don't have
Nice
enough
job,
innocents in the
Josh.
same location.
Recruiting all those innocents. See what you did?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, good job, Ann. We know you won. So, Julie and or Dirk, is there anything about this game here that maybe we didn't get a chance to show off in our playthrough here on our Spotlight session?
Well, I kind of actually wanted to touch on that, the first time you're playing through, you're basically learning rule sets and everything, and we did that. As you play more, you start to realize which characters work well together in combination or work against each other from villain and heroes. So picking the ones that you chose weren't the ones that are most easily offset each other, which was fine. Obviously, they still work. But it was interesting to watch because perhaps you wanted, for example, Callista can pull children away from one location to another, so she has that ability to take innocents and move them away from wherever Vanessa was. So things like that.
Or if I may, like a Thelmalushkin type character who her win objective is to kill people, would go through and start killing innocents, making it trickier for someone like Vanessa to amass them in a spot to win the game.
Gotcha.
Which then creates the opposite, the effect of,
So
the villains.
choosing at the beginning is actually kind of, doing it just to get a feel for the game, obviously is fine, but knowing what each of the characters does and getting a feel for that and then choosing accordingly based on what everybody's picking is actually a pretty big factor once you start playing it more often.
Very cool. Anne, any questions aside from you wanting to gloat about your victory?
I just don't know if you knew.
The crown of tentacles over your head that foreshadowed you winning the game with Vanessa.
Tell me a little bit about how the Kickstarter is going to run.
It's starting October 2nd. It's going to be for the month of October because,
Because Halloween.
it's Halloween.
Oh.
Right. We have some. I mean, like I said, we're pretty close to the completion of the base game. We have some really cool stretch goals planned that we're working on, including potentially a. Do I want to give any spoilers about what?
Yes, Julie, this
All
is
the
the Twist
spoilers.
Gaming Show. I want all of them.
I am lobbying.
No. No. We are working on a comic companion to the game.
Look at Dirk's
So
face.
a page one-off that is being done, and also I don't know if you're showing a lot of the art in some of the green screens, not showing it to its best advantage, but
Yeah.
we had a lot of the original artists on board to create the cards, so they're all unique pieces of art.
Yeah, actually,
in the comic.
every all the art in the game is created by artists who worked on Nightmare World or Tales of Mystery. So they either worked on Nightmare World Volume 1 through 4 or Tales of Mystery Volume 1 through 4.
That's really cool.
And then we're having a bonus comic as a stretch goal. Is one of the stretch goals.
And I'm really
awesome.
hoping that perhaps if this Kickstarter goes as well as the ones for the comics have,
Look at
we
Julie's
can
face.
we can release some extra perks that would go really nice in a box.
Such as?
No, Julie's gonna murder you. This is gonna be a real horror episode.
It's gonna be real blood. My predilections are well known on what I would like to see come in the box.
He wants more than just cards.
Something small and cool.
Would you say that it's not just small, but like miniature?
Mike? This is a card-based game. I fully recognize that it's a card-based game. However, I will say that the Nightmare World Omnibus Kickstarter, for example, we hit our funding goal in 3 hours and 13 minutes.
That's really cool.
My people represent. So I'm really hoping that we might have such a juggernaut campaign that we can hopefully unleash Kickstarter bonuses
Awesomeness.
that are previously not even considered yet in the current iteration of the game.
So talk to me, Dirk. I know you mentioned that obviously the comics have a pretty rabid following. What would you see?
We're very dedicated, yes.
What would you see as something that's going to draw your followers and those who are unfamiliar with your comic to this game?
You know, I think one of the things that's really cool about this game, and it comes back, I think it brings us back full circle to the first conversation Julie and I had about this. It really is a horror game. And Josh, you could probably speak to this, and I would ask you to speak honestly. I mean, the dread, playing the heroes, the dread builds up really quick, I think. I mean, that was the impression I had on your face. You were so charming when it started, and you're like, round one is so funny because it's like, this is fine. I'm gonna rip through everyone like tissue paper. And then by like the second or third round, you're like, I really have a problem here. This is not good. And it's a challenge to win as the heroes too. But I mean, did you experience that, Josh? Like that sense of mounting?
Mountain Doom from Ann and Matt.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Look at this face.
So I think in regards to my readers, because again, I'm not a big, I tour so much, I write so much. I don't have a lot of time to play a lot of games. I really, really enjoyed this game because I got the sensation of playing this game that I do out of watching a horror movie, but I was living it. Whether you're the villains and you're trying to exactly, by the time you call mystery, it's really too late for a happy ending. Whether you're playing the villains and you're trying to go in and dominate the board or meet your objective in 6 rounds, or whether you're the hero desperately trying to stave off the villains, there's a certain amount of tension. And I like the fact that the average game is 45 minutes, ish. I would say maybe an hour at most. Julie, would you say that's accurate?
No, it's an hour when you play because you keep talking. It's actually less typically.
I enjoy I'm a writer, so I don't get to talk to people very often. See, Julie's job, she gets to talk to whoever she wants. This is a rare opportunity for me to talk to people.
This is how you know they're
And to
friends.
sing
Because
with
they
all of
sound
you.
like us.
Yep.
Like, I need friends, please. Julie doesn't let me talk. But that's like a 45-minute game, tops, I would say. So it's quick, too, because it's not like... and there's no shade on some of these other games, but some games take 4 or 5 hours to play. If you just want to sit down for a half hour, 45 minutes, one step above a party game, and just go and have fun, I love it. I think this is perfect.
What has been the most interesting thing for you personally so far in the process of designing and developing the game?
It's Dirk or me?
Both? Open-ended?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So I joke about it, but again, I've reread the comics I don't know how many times, because I really, really wanted to get each character to have a feel of how they are in the comic, how their rule sets and their gameplay feels. So all the minions, all those abilities, I wanted them to feel like how I read their comic story. Like all the villains, their rule sets. And so working with Josh Sprung, the designer, he would throw a lot of he likes to throw spaghetti. He throws spaghetti at the wall and sees what sticks, but that was amazing because he could throw tons of spaghetti and I could be like, that's what the comic does. That's not. So for me, working with Josh was a great pleasure because he's not somebody who wanted to fight that with me. He wanted to embrace it, and he was excited about working with me to make that happen. So, and then of course showing it to Dirk, and the pleasure of beating Dirk every time we play.
Until I won.
I wasn't playing, was I? I wasn't playing.
Damn it. See, this is the writer versus the gamer mentality. No, and to piggyback off of what Julie said, 'cause I like to play. Julie's ruthless. You guys know that. She is the ultra villain. I mean, she is hardcore. Doesn't matter. I never played the game. She actually beat me and then like danced in a circle around me when she won. So
Who does that?
Did she light you on fire first? Because if she didn't, you got off easy.
Yeah, that's true. No, piggybacking off of what Julie said and the work that her and Josh both did on this, I really, obviously, as the person that created all these characters, it's really cool to see the characters so accurately represented. But furthermore, as someone that just would like to be able to play the game and enjoy it, the replayability factor in this game is so high, because depending on what villains are picked, depending on then what heroes you want to play, it's like, let's say if the villains, just 3 people are playing, and the villains are, let's say it's a girl power team of Vanessa and Thelma Lushkin. Maybe I know I play really well with Rhee and Ganon, but instead I want to play Brad and Callista, for example, who have very different abilities or something like that. Or I want to play Charity and Ganon or what have you. The replayability is through the roof, and it's a completely different experience each time you play it. This is not. I don't know how this game could get stale after even 100 plays, and that's legit. Julie doesn't compensate me enough to lie. So, this is really something that, I mean, you could just play it countless times, combined with the fact that it's quick, combined with the fact that you get the thrill out of watching a horror movie or reading some really good horror comics, for example. Playing this game really is what.
Hey, Dirk, I have a question.
Yeah.
As entertaining as you're being, is one of the levels going to be to play the game and so that other people on the backers can beat you?
Savage. It's a rare day. Unless. So let me tell you about what I really want to unlock in this game. Okay. Here's what I'm really hoping for.
I'm pretty sure that's not. You're avoiding the question. I feel like there should be a Kickstarter level. Play Dirk, and then when you beat him, go
get ice cream.
Publicly gloat with him on a live stream or something to that effect.
I feel like that my desire to play the game rather than the savagery of the gamer who just wants to win at all costs is being a little bit victimized right now. To me, the fun is playing.
To be fair, I am siding with Julie here.
Julie, I think you need to make some promo cards that Dirk can hand out when he gets his butt beat.
Oh, yeah. Well, we actually have some plans for some bonus cards at levels.
Yes,
well,
we do.
there's some fun tongue-in-cheek. So Dirk himself might be a villain in the game.
You might even say that some of the activities we were doing earlier were foreshadowing some other characters that you might get to unlock as bonuses.
Yeah, all of that terrible singing.
Terrible. Now, that's where I draw the line, man.
I thought it was good singing.
And then who knows? Maybe we'll unlock something else in the box, too. We'll just have to see.
So anyway.
Something diminutive.
And to help with that, we should have a level where people can play you, and then you have to verbally, talk about when you lose how great they are as players.
No, I have no problem putting people over when they win.
Uh-huh.
So
So,
I would gladly have. I will say on record here as we wrap this up. I will gladly contribute my time to a level where people could actually, if we're at the same place, same time, they want to come to a con or something. After a con, they can play, and hopefully Julie would be there as well,
of course,
so
we're
that
just
we
going
can
to
team up.
beat you.
We can team up and destroy Julie, and then go get ice cream and gloat about that. And I will Facebook Live it when Julie doesn't win.
What kind of ice cream?
Every kind. The answer is yes.
I mean, how
The
can you
answer is
say
yes.
no to
What
that?
kind?
I mean, you're on
Yes.
a diet, though.
It'll be
I'll
a
have
It
yours
doesn't
for
count
you.
at a con. It
They'll
doesn't
need
count
a
at a
cheat
con.
day.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Con food doesn't count.
It's because it just goes right through you.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen,
That is a true nightmare world.
All right. And with that, Julie, Dirk, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about this evening before we go to our first impression session?
Oh, don't give us that opportunity. Clearly, we can go on forever. I think we're done here.
Yeah, but I do want to one more time give a very special shout out to Meerkat in the chat, who designed that amazing backdrop you have behind you.
True story.
There's a whole other story to be told another day about Kristen's amazing artistic process and how she brought it. I love the box art. I think she did an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let's hear what you have to say as we wrap this up. I'm excited. Look at that amazing. Oh yeah, it's so good. Kristen, you're amazing.
With just a little bit of green screen.
little bit, lot of bit.
Yeah. With that, thank all of you for joining us this evening. This is going to be Twist Gaming signing off for now, but we're going to be back in just a few minutes with our first impression session where we talk about our favorite aspects of the game, any constructive criticisms we had, and the most important question of the evening of would we play this game again. But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Ann.
I'm Josh.
And we're Twist Gaming. Thanks again, Julie and Dirk. We really appreciate you guys joining us today.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for having me. My first Twitch was wonderful. Thank you.